Where'd you meet your wife? And when did you meet your wife?
I was an outlaw in 1967, 68, 68. I met her, and she was working at Mystic Arts World. And I walked in, I was probably loaded from being at the beach surfing, and I walked in, and I looked at her, and my jaw dropped, and I asked her to marry me.
Right there?
Right there on the spot. I didn't know her, I didn't know her name, nothing.
What about her? What about her more than her beauty? Like, what was the feeling you got being in that lady's presence?
Well, I was a dipshit whore. I mean, you know, women were to conquer, and, you know, once you conquered them, then you left them. And during that time, there was a lot of shit going around that you didn't want.
Yep.
And pre-love and all that stuff.
Yep.
And so I went up into the mountains for a year, celibate. Took a lot of acid and prayed around a lot, and found Self-Realization Fellowship in Paramahansa Yogananda and started meditating, and then I decided it was time to go down to town. And so I left the mountains and I walked into town, and she was the first person I saw.
Wow.
And it just came out. And I think we got married a year later. Peyote meeting, a house meeting.
How did she respond when you asked her to marry you?
Get the fuck out of here, you're crazy. You know, leave me alone.
And you came back?
I stalked her. I mean, I was wearing paisley bell bottoms and had a little Buddha in a bag and had my ching, and hair was long, and I was looking behind bushes at her, you know. And every once in a while I'd sneak up behind her and rub her shoulders, and I just pestered the shit out of her, you know. And finally she relented and let me in. And oh wow, and there was some fireworks there. And we delivered all of our kids.
Just you two?
Yeah. Yeah. And well, the twins, I delivered them, but we had a helicopter standing by, and that was going to cost me $10,000. And the birthing room at Mount Ashland was $8,000, and the doctor standing by. So I opted to, and there was 80% chance of mishap delivering twins. So I opted to go to the hospital, and I'm glad I did. Sadie came out good. Maggie, she came out and put her arms out like that, and an hour and 45 minutes later, she still wasn't born. We had the C-section. Candy, I almost going to lose both of them. And but I got to bond with both of them before she did. You know, and so I got a really tight rapport with my girls. You know, and yeah, and they've lived here their whole life.
Yep.
You know, next year will be 50 years here.
Wow. Yep. Do you recommend that 1 year of celibacy for young men out there? Or do you think that was a specific to your case?
That's a hard one. To each individual.
Yep.
You know, you can be chasing women all you want and not being satisfied, and just chasing them to be satisfied in the moment.
Oh yeah.
And so you don't give them any reflective something that they can attach to. And regardless of your gender, I'm having a hard time with woke and who, we, hi, whatever pronoun, this, that, the other thing. You know, I believe I got.
I'm with you there.
I'm built a man, and they're built a woman, and you know, yeah. who am I to tell God how to procreate or make, you know, And so I'm prejudiced that way. And I've had a hard time with the lesbian world, the gay world, the freak world, the lack of caring, and I see a lot of negativity out there. And the whole world, you know, I mean, you got global warming, you got people crying in floods, and you know, possible nuclear war, and
Yep.
and I don't know that anybody besides myself, I'm sure there are, see this, but there's a dust of energy in the atmosphere, and it's negative, and we can't see it. It's like wavelengths. It's like radio wavelengths. It's there,
Yep.
and everybody's agitated, you know. And you've got Kamala Harris who's trying to be smiling. You got, but you don't know what her agenda is, you know. And you got Trump. We do know what his agenda is, and it's scary.
Yep.
And there's a lot of confusion out there, and I think it's in the air. And I think that people need to sit down and rub their heart and find themselves and make their own individual opinion and be true to themselves. And so to say openly everybody should be celibate for a year, not necessarily so. But I would have continued doing what I was doing if I hadn't gone up there and got well.
Yep.
Mentally, emotionally, physically. And doctor told me if I kept at it, I'd never have any kids. And this has always been my dream, to be a good parent, to supply good water, good earth, good vibes, a home, a roof, not a car, you know, and a set of parents.
Since when you were 7, or when did that?
That all happened after I ingested and got a conscience.
Aha.
Before that, up until 17, I wasn't fit to be around. I could have been, even 17, 18, 19, I could have gone to jail.
Yeah.
You know, and been in trouble.
Yeah.
And I did.
Yeah.
And I got out of it, and I was blessed. And I love you this much is my credo. Is, you know how much I love you this much. And that's me. You know, whether I'm really feeling it at the time, I'm going to say it anyway.
Yeah.
Because I need to remind myself all the time. You know, that's the one mantra. You know how much I love you this much. That's the one thing that keeps me centered. You know, and I highly recommend, if you got a problem, rub your heart, love on yourself.